Well, made it so long without, oh, getting swarmed again. Made it so long without getting stung, even doing removals. Came up here today to brush mow this pasture with Andrew. Yeah, I figured I'd use a little hedge clipper attachment and just hit all this stuff that's growing around the horse ring. And I found a Yellowjacket nest, so got hit twice. I do have the suit with me. Just kind of thinking this is a little bit more of a tough spot to get to versus probably really not an issue in the long run for the farmers. There's Andrew with the quad and the Swisher. So, home pretty good. We're gonna do some of that, and then probably mow up basically all this dead hay. Maybe today. If nothing else, we're gonna do some paths in the back. But yeah. First time I've been stung. Actually, I was stung twice. Hard to see them in the camera here. First time I've been stung in a while though. After thinking about it, I'm pretty sure the Yellowjackets probably built their nest where that fence post that fell over was, where the cavity was. Those are ground Yellowjackets. I decided not to mess with them today, even though I was tempted. So we ended up doing a few things today. The main thing we were doing was just mowing the top and the bottom of the horse pasture. Typically we mow it twice a year. As you can see, most of it's not very thick. There's a couple thick spots here and there. And I would say the bottom was probably a little bit thicker than the top. Now, I have some earlier videos from even last year, earlier this year on the mower, but that is a Swisher Rough Cut Mower, 44-inch. It does a pretty good job. It is heavy. I feel like it does beat the quad up a good bit, and that is a 570 Sportsman. It pulls it pretty well, but like I said, I just can't emphasize it enough. If you're looking at buying one of these, it is a heavy mower. Just be aware. I do like it, but in the long run, I'm hoping to get a tractor one day and kind of just be done with this. Now, just like most of my videos, I really hadn't planned on making a video today. I probably should start planning on that a little bit more. So some of this footage is a little rough, and it's pretty much all done off a phone as well, so the quality is only so-so. We were pretty fortunate for most of the day. It was pretty overcast. It did get hot at one point, but compared to all the other times we've done this, it was actually a very nice, cool day. I didn't have any issues with the quad overheating, which is something I've ran into a few times, and again, I have a video on cleaning out the radiator of the quad. This time of the year, you know, seed pods and stuff like that can jam up that radiator pretty good. And I've even had some comments on some other videos asking, you know, if I have overheating issues. Here's just another angle of actually on the quad. As you can tell, the field's really not that thick. So for the most part, we're able to go through this pretty quickly and kind of just listen to the mower. As it starts to bog down, we slow down a little bit, but compared to doing some heavier brush, which I have later in the video, you know, this stuff here is pretty easy to cut, and it actually does do, I would say, a very good job cutting it. And as you can see, here's kind of the final product of the top part of the pasture. Like I said, it's not finished mower quality, but it's pretty good. Now, on the bottom of this pasture, the video really doesn't do much justice, but it is pretty hilly, and it's also very rutted up from the horse. So in the past, the property owners used to just use a regular garden tractor to mow this, and from what I heard, it was a pretty rough ride, which I couldn't even imagine driving a mower through this. But I would say this is where this thing really shines as far as just trimming the pasture for this portion of it. So all said in total today, I believe we mowed about 5 hours worth with some breaks here and there. And like I said, the weather was definitely on our side. Running that quad can get pretty hot, especially on warmer days, but the engine itself, just from being on it, riding slow all day, it can be a lot. And that quad doesn't have power steering either, which would definitely be nice for doing this kind of stuff where you're just going slow and making a lot of turns. Now, I don't really know much about horses, but the reason we do mow this twice a year is their horse has an allergy to some type of grass or weed that grows in here. So cutting it and knocking it down definitely helps the horse out. And then they just make sure to keep the horse out of there for a day or two after it's cut. The bottom of this pasture is a lot larger than it seems. I would say it's actually larger than the top portion, so it's several acres. This horse has a lot of room, you know, and it's just one horse, so that's kind of why the horse also isn't able to keep the grass cut down on its own. Now again, with the weight of the mower, the quad's able to handle it just fine. This is a steeper hill than it looks like, so we do put it in all-wheel drive for going up the hill. But the hill's flat enough too, where the mower handles it pretty well. In a minute or two, I'll have another part of a video where I'm going through something that's a lot worse terrain. And the mower still handles it pretty well. You just have to watch if it bottoms out, if there's any kind of dips. So this is that other portion I was telling you about that's real high. That stuff in there is probably 4, 5, 6 foot tall easily. So this path's growing in like crazy. There's a lot of invasive plants that are kind of taking over. As you can see here, it's cutting right through it. I don't think I had it on this part of the video, but I had a couple spots where I bottomed out a little bit, never even enough to stall the mower out. Now, as you can see here, I'm going a lot slower. So there's a lot more stuff for that mower to process. In general, I would say it does better with more of like brush than tall grass. Tall grass will bog it down some. But there also is a mixture, as you can see here, of some pretty large bushes or saplings that this thing takes down. So I'm slowly working my way into the back to where I have this hunting blind up. This is a blind that we put up last year. I'd had it several years and finally got it all together. So there's a trail that goes back to that. That's where I'm heading right now. And so this is what the blind looked like last year and probably as of a month ago. And this is what I found today. So we're in Western PA. We've had some pretty good storms this year. And unfortunately, we had winds high enough to knock this stand over. And on top of that, the stand pretty much fell perfectly on a stump right there. So 2 of the sides are pretty well kicked out. And I would say that this stand, at least the top of it, is pretty much done. I'm going to have to do something different. All right, that's going to be it for this video. Right now, I'm just playing a clip of one of my wasp removal videos. Check them out. I think they're pretty cool content. But if you found this content interesting, or if you have any questions or feedback, please comment in the comment bar. And also like and subscribe. It's appreciated. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you come back again for future content.